Hello, 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 and welcome. Ricardo and I actually just finished recording a podcast, and then we got started talking about the most recent song from Jason Aldean. This song has sparked a lot of controversy, and it has also risen to the number one song in America this week. Why is it controversial? It's controversial because it is racist. And Ricardo was actually the one that brought up the conversation. He was asking me what I thought about the new song. And my question to him was very direct. I said, well, what do you think of it as a black person? And his response was simply,
think anything of it as a black person. I didn't look at it as a black or white song.
Absolutely. It's interesting how this country has turned everything into race bait, political bait, everything. It's insane.
Right.
Why that is, I'm not sure. But we're actually going to play the song for you here now. In a moment. Mm-hmm.
Look, punch somebody on the sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think it's tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Try that a small town.
And there is the song Try That in a Small Town from Jason Aldean. So the big question to that is, How did that become such a racially charged song? Or is it a racially charged song?
I think, like anything, you can make it racially charged if that's the lens you choose to view things through. You know, this country has spent more time being divisive than it has finding ways for us to have commonality.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, people are predispositioned or are predisposed to this whole idea of separation rather than togetherness. So the minute something comes out where there's two sides that you could take or two views you could take, it's the one that continues the idea of separation, you know, and that's what's happened because we looked at it. I heard the song with, you know, and you've heard the song, and we started this discussion off camera about it. And there are people on both sides. There are people that look like myself who on this side say, hey, this is racist towards this people group. And then there's others on the other side that look like you that may say, yeah, it is towards your people group. But then there's the majority that's in the middle said, no, it's just people that don't want to deal with crap and want to live life without having to be robbed and beat and jumped on and all this stuff. And we know there's a lot of stuff out that's going on out there, but this song wasn't about everything that's happening out there. It's simply about someone who wants to live a life where they can do so without fear of being robbed, beat, assaulted, or anything else that anybody, whether they're black, white, Asian, Arab, Indian, doesn't matter. Nobody wants to deal with that, you know. So we have taken the approach that this song wasn't a white or black song. It was just a song about people that want to live life unimpeded.
Right. And try that in a small town. I'll be real. While we were just listening to it, I was sitting there looking for racial undertones.
Mm-hmm.
I was specifically seeking them out. I am a country music fan. I do like Jason Aldean long before this song. And interesting tidbit, the song came out in May. Yet it's just now starting to get the backlash.
Right.
So I guess that it was completely fine from May until a couple weeks ago. But nonetheless, when I turned on my ears to pull out the racially charged stuff in that song, the only thing that I could think, the only thing that I could see was we take care of our own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it's talking about a small town.
Right.
What you look for, you will find.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's race baiting or anything else, what you look for, you will find.
Without a doubt.
So if you want to look for this being racially charged, you're going to find it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can find that in any song, any genre. If you look for it, it's there, even though you might have to make it up. We take care of our own, yet the song is called Try That in a Small Town. To me personally, all that I hear is you come try that in this small town. We've got each other's back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, without a doubt. You know, I grew up in a small town, small-ish, you know, 75,000 people in the city right now. You couldn't try these things without there being consequence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we take care of our own applies to all people groups. It isn't just one people group. It's to all people. Anyone who wants to protect what they've been given stewardship over, your family, your business, whatever it is, I'm going to take care of my own.
Right.
You know, and if you're my neighbor and you're in your front yard and you're being assaulted, guess what I'm going to do? Take care of my own.
That's it.
You know, that's what that's about. Could you skew it and make it about something else? Oh, yeah. Like I said, you can do that about Scooby-Doo if you want to, you know, but why would you? If there's two different sides to choose, why would you choose the one that's divisive rather than the other and assume that's what the context was?
That's what this country has been built on for, God, I'd say that probably the past 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
Is a great racial divide.
Mm-hmm.
And when you realize that we are all the same, it does not matter the color of your skin. We are all the same. I had a chat with somebody just 3 days ago, and we were talking about communicating with a black person versus a white person versus a Mexican versus whatever. And I said, you do communicate differently. because of the simple fact that the cultures are different at large. I'm not saying person by person, I'm saying at large.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that one way is the right way, one way is the wrong way. It's just a different style.
Right.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is what makes the world and the earth a beautiful place, is the fact that we are all different, yet we all have the same basic 7 human needs, no matter who you are, where you're from, what your upbringing is, no matter what the color of your skin is, what your bank account says. We all have the same basic human needs. So why is it that we have to find the division in something as simple as this song?
Right.
It makes no sense to me.
It doesn't. It's a byproduct of, as believers, we know it's a byproduct of the fallenness of man. Man is more inclined to continue falling, tripping, stumbling, and falling all over himself without God's intervention than he is to stand upright. And so this is another instance of man continuing this thing of falling and falling away from God, because the society that's where the divide comes from. This society has gotten to a point where there's this huge divide. Now, has there been a divide in a lot of ways, and a lot of things that's happened in this country over the years that we can't deny? Yeah, there's been a lot of things that's happened over the years that we cannot deny have happened and have been a part of the fabric of the American history. But you know what? That's not what this is. That's not where we are. I sit here right now not feeling in any way enslaved or oppressed. Now, that I grew up in a context that, if I allowed it to, could have warped how I saw life, warped how I saw you, and how I saw other people that didn't look like me. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, I could have. Why? Because I saw things, and things happened to me that I know wasn't because, I was, a kid, or because I lived in this certain area. It's because I looked the way that I looked. And there were people that told you outright out of their mouth, I don't like your kind, and would use words that, of course, that you didn't want them to use.
Right.
So I could have had that context throughout my whole life, but that isn't everybody. Like, everyone wasn't there. Everyone wasn't doing that. And I can't cast a blanket over a whole people group, because there are pockets of people that believe that way.
Sure.
No more so than I want others to cast a blanket over people that look like me, because there's pockets of people that are doing foolishness, because that's the outliers. That's not the whole.
Right. And when you realize that there's bad seeds in every orchard, whether we're talking about a racial group, whether we're talking about a professional group,
right,
there are bad seeds in every orchard. Yet just lumping them together and saying that all of this type or all of that type is good because of they're that type, or they're bad because they are that type,
right,
is foolishness.
It is.
Until we get past this as a country, until we get past this as a world, how much hope is there for us? I mean, I hate to just put it so vaguely, but really, when you cannot agree with somebody simply because of pigmentation in their skin, it's ludicrous. When you cannot agree and get along with somebody just because they vote on the different end of the aisle or the different side of the aisle than what you do, and you want to say, no, I can't be friends with them, I can't like them, I can't trust them, whatever, that shows how much you need to grow up.
Right.
When you realize that everybody is here and everybody wants happiness, everybody wants success, everybody wants fulfillment. The thing is, we all define happiness, success, and fulfillment in different ways. And going out and hating people just because of nonsense is foolish.
Yeah, it is.
You're never going to win. You're never going to grow by doing that.
No. It's a part of that Antichrist spirit that's present right now. That's exactly what it is. It's a complete affront against what God created and what Christ died for. Galatians 3:28. I'm gonna read this real quick. says there is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Now, this is not something that's saying there isn't female, male in the sense that there isn't a separation in gender. This is not to jump on board with this LGBTQ, whatever it is now, and say that all are one. But what it's saying is we are all viewed in the same vein, as if there's no separation in the sense that one is better than the other.
Right.
There's no Asian is better than African. African is better than Indian. Indian is better than white, or whatever it is. There's no divide there. He reconciled all within himself, and so man has been dead set on keeping a divide, because that's what the enemy wants.
Mm-hmm.
He wants us to war and fight against one another, so we'll never see the freedom that lies in Christ. And so that's what all this is. That's exactly what this is. Yes, we see the physical aspect of it. We saw the cars being jumped on. We saw the flag being burned. We saw all the people being beat and robbed and all that stuff. All those things are symptoms of a spiritual illness, is what that is. It's a physical representation of manifestation of a spiritual sickness.
Right. One thing that I found interesting about that video is he made the comment that all of those clips were taken from recent news footage.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was fabricated for the video. None of that was to get an wow for the video. It was all real life stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you try stuff in a small town, there are consequences versus doing stuff in a larger city where, as a whole, people don't know each other.
Mm-hmm.
When you come from a small town, everybody knows their neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
If you need milk or eggs, you go to your neighbor and you get it, and you just repay them when you go to the grocery store the next time. It's a little bit different in a bigger city. Yet, when you put out a song that talks about try that in a small town, it just takes on the life, because the news media here is to jack you up. Make no mistake about it. When you can control the media, you can control what people think. And when they put out that it is here as a racially charged song, people hear it through different ears.
Yeah.
Instead of hearing it through what it's talking about. We could pull up so many other songs from so many other genres that talk about way worse stuff than this, but yet they're perfectly fine. It's okay that they talk about things way more in depth. It's okay that they talk about things more hostile and things more violent than this song talks about. But yet, because it is, I don't know, is it because it's a country song? Is it because it's Jason Aldean? What is the reason why this was picked on? And I'm not here advocating saying, hey, leave Jason alone. Quite frankly, I don't care. Keep pestering him. Keep giving him a hard time for this song. Please do. Because it's doing nothing but helping his ratings. It's doing nothing but helping the song sell. It's doing nothing but moving him up that list ahead of all of your favorite songs. So keep badgering him. It's appreciated. Bad press is better than no press at all. So even if you're going to slam him and slam the song, cool. Keep on, because you're helping. Yet, if you just let the song go, the song might stay at number one for a couple weeks. It might not. But it's going to stay there even longer, the more that it gets talked about for the nonsense that was created. And I don't know Jason Aldean's heart. Maybe his heart was for that to be completely racially charged. Maybe. I don't know him. I haven't interviewed him, and I'm not going to talk to him. Yet, the words of the song, the chords of the song, the bars of the song, they don't point racially. And you might find some of your best friends in a different race than what you are, with different skin color than what you have. And when you realize that you can get past all the nonsense, all the crap, you will realize that the world is a beautiful place for you to grow together. Everybody. Let it go.
Yeah.
Listen to the song and enjoy it for what it is. And if you can't get past that it's racially charged, do an internal look to yourself.
Yeah. That's where the fight is the internal fight. Because again, could the song have been, could he have meant it that way? Yeah, there's a possibility he could have meant it that way, but once again, that's one of two choices. Could have meant it that way, then he did mean it that way.
Right.
And it's up to you to choose, unless you're going to sit down and talk to him and then hope that he tells you the truth about what he meant. It's up to you to decide how you want to live your life, what lens you want to view your life through. Because you can be held in bondage or enslaved to an idea and then live your life based on an idea, or you can live it based on what's true. And if you want to believe everything is racist, you'll always see opportunities to choose racism, because there's always things out there that are either intentionally presented that way to offer you that offense or an opportunity to be offended, or it's things that honestly had nothing to do with race. It's just about people, where you could look at it through that lens that you have and you instantly see, oh yeah, that was racist. It had nothing to do with race. And I say this as a person who grew up in an extremely racist environment where it was constant. It was not hidden. It was overt. I dealt with it in school. I dealt with it out of school. I dealt with it in stores. I dealt with it in restaurants. I dealt with it with teachers. I dealt with it in all kinds of ways. So if I was going to have this view, I would say I got every right and every justification to have it because of the lens that I viewed life through growing up. But God didn't allow me to see my life that way, because he said, this life I created is not that. That's the life that you were presented. And you had the opportunity to choose that as your lens, or you could choose the one that God created.
Right.
So I view life through a different lens. So when I see things for what they are, not for what I want them to be. Unless it's me expecting better of myself and expecting better of my situation, where then I see by faith at that point. But in this situation, man, this is not one of those racist things,
It's all choice.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Every bit of it is choice.
Yep.
And if you want to remain upset and bitter and angry, then by all means do it.
You'll feel differently next week. It'll be something else to hijack.
Yeah, right.
It's sad. Nation of hijackers.
So personally, I like the song.
Yeah.
Keep slamming him, because you're helping his ratings. You're helping everything about the song. And once you realize that, and once you realize that it's time to move on, and I'm not saying move on from traumatic things of your past. Actually, I am, because that too is a choice. It's not an easy choice. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying there. Yet you do have the option to move on and to move up and to move into better space in your head, in your life. It's your choice.
Yeah.
Choose wisely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you all listening. No, this was an unexpected recording, but this song I've seen so much talked about, so many ways that people have talked about it, that we started talking about it off camera and said, why not have a person that would essentially represent both sides of the equation if we were going to be racist,
right,
and take these different views of it? But why don't we talk about it,
right?
And for me and you, one thing we don't do, we don't sit here and talk about things and try to say the thing that's going to pander to people's emotions or feelings or make people look at us a certain way. Honestly, I wouldn't care if anybody who looked like me viewed me in some way that's unflattering. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Why? Because this is my life to live under God's guidance and not yours. So I'm going to say what I see as being the truth, And it's up to you to do a self-inventory and decide whether it's true to you or whether it's absolute truth. You know, it's my thing is to present it to you. Jonathan's thing is just present the information to you, have a discussion about it. Well, we have a rational discussion. We admit that there's two different sides to it, and we talk about it. But one thing we're not going to do is sugarcoat or feed you a bunch of crap. You know, that's not what we're gonna do. So we hope that you got something out of this discussion that we had, and maybe you have the discussion with your friends, you know, and you found value in what we offer. We appreciate you all for being here, though.
Absolutely. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Yep.
Because there are times where we will go live,
Mm-hmm.
and we do release recordings every single Thursday at noon on the Hustle Faithfully YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@hustlefaithfully.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe that we are broadcasting right now on the @Jonathan Ellis official link.
And Eternal Radio.
Yes. And we are on Eternal Radio. So you can look them up, as well as we're on Spotify and all of the other streaming platforms. So look us up. It's Hustle Faithfully Podcast. We look forward to having you tune in with us each and every week, and also jump on these lives with us when we do these periodically.
Yes.
Y'all remain blessed and unstoppable.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for listening to Hustle Faithfully. Be sure to tune in next Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, for another inspirational word from Jonathan Ellis, the champion maker, and Ricardo McNealey. Again, that is next Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, with Hustle Faithfully. Until then, stay positive, stay motivated. Much love.